Hi guys, welcome to the Channel of Love study group. Okay, let's get this chapter over and done with. This is going to be part 4 of chapter 2, Thoughts. Okay, I believe it all has real meaning at the moment, to definitely listen to what's being said through the words of Dr. Wayne Dyer. I have 3 candles here. Let's just pull one into view. You might be able to hypnotise yourself onto it. Okay, I don't know how to do this because obviously I'm talking and we've got Mickey Mouse looking at the candle. Okay. Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? M-I-C-K-Y M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse. We had Donald Duck earlier. We've got Mickey Mouse, a really nice large creamy cup of coffee. Okay. Oh, Mickey's winking at me over here. Good idea. Let's read this. Thought. Part 4, why we resist. So recap on the previous video if you need to. Okay, so the first point, all these like little dots for pointers. We have become accustomed to thinking of ourselves as our physical body rather than as our energy body. Okay, should we just start again? Right. Why we resist. We have become accustomed to thinking of ourselves as our physical body rather than as our inner energy. We look into the mirror and believe that what we see is who we are. We live in a culture that reinforces this belief. We are bombarded with messages every day to remind us to perfume, shave, cleanse, feed, rest, and decorate our bodies so that we can be happy, healthy, and successful. Many of us have been subjected to this philosophy since childhood and therefore treat ourselves as primarily a package whose contents are irrelevant. It is understandable that we would resist the idea that we also have a significant self which is invisible and impervious to the demands of an external world. The story of the man searching for his lost key outside his home under the streetlight illustrates my point. When a stranger inquired if she could help him look for the lost key, he was most grateful. After 30 minutes of fruitless searching, the stranger asked, Where did you drop your key? Oh, he replied, I dropped it inside the house. But why are you looking outside under the street lamp if you dropped it inside the house? She asked. I have no light inside the house, so I came out here to look where there is light. This is precisely what we do every time we look outside of ourselves for the solutions to problems. We live inside, we think inside, our humanity resides within, yet we spend time ceaselessly looking outside of ourselves for the answers because we fail to illuminate the inside with our thoughts. We resist the principle that thought is everything we are because it seems easier to look outside. Okay, the next point of why we resist. It seems easier to define ourselves by the packaging rather than by the inner qualities we cannot touch, see, smell, taste or hear. Taking the easier appearing path is one of the predominant reasons for resisting the principle of thought as the basis for our humanity. Besides, when everyone else is perceived as defining himself or herself this way, it seems easier to go along than to be different. I notice this with young people in my neighbourhood. When I suggest the possibility of thinking of themselves as separate from the crowd, they tell me, then I will be seen as an oddball or weird. They are concerned with how others perceive them, unaware that their thoughts are a crucial component of who they are. They do not realise that they can process their world in any way they choose, and they often opt for the easier seeming choice of simply fitting in. Many of us choose to act as others do without examining our non-form reality. We must be unwilling to take the criticism that goes with thinking independently. We may resist seeing ourselves as something beyond that form because we have totally identified with this kind of approach to life. To change, we have to redefine ourselves and our priorities, to give ourselves permission to observe where we are without being defensive or judgmental about our point of view. We facilitate the next step on our path when we note our present position uncritically. Okay, let's have a drink before we move on to the next point of why we resist with the coaster. And you go. By identifying with form, we are able to function exclusively in the realm of things, excluding what may appear to us to be irksome thoughts. Acquisitions become a way to demonstrate our competence in life, while our non-form nature is... I'm just trying to see how I pronounce this word. Religitated to a closed cupboard. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. Let's move on. We behave as if we did not have a responsibility to the feelings and thoughts of others by insisting that we find happiness in the material things we provide. We justify ourselves by saying, I work hard, I pay the bills, I give them all they want. What else can I do? The what else we can do is to be receptive to what they are thinking, to talk with them about their aspirations, to touch them in that godlike space behind their form and encourage them to experience their life their way. We work at accumulating, achieving, goal setting and acquiring wealth and possessions. We identify success with the measurement of things, never knowing happiness within. We are continually striving, never arriving. I believe we are more than we are intelligence within our form. That we are intelligence within our form. Just as the rose is an intelligence that delivers the fragrance and appearance of the flower. We can never create a rose by ourselves. We need the life force in the form that we call rose. Similarly, good word, it's going to kill me. Similarly, we need to touch the intelligence of God force behind the force that is us, as well as that of those with whom we come in contact. We may resist simply because we are unfamiliar with this aspect of humanity and because the unfamiliar is frightening. Can't seem to get the words out tonight, guys. Going to keep going with it. Okay, your way out of the cage. I reckon we're going to settle down by then and feel our way into this part of this chapter. Okay. We may resist simply because we are unfamiliar with this aspect of humanity and because the unfamiliar is frightening. Ask yourself if that is a worthwhile reason for you to remain exclusively in form. Okay, in the world of form, blame is a convenient excuse for why our life is not exactly what we would like it to be. We blame the world for illness, the stock market for financial conditions, the bakery for causing overweight, and parents for our personalities. In the world of thought, though, we are responsible for everything. We think as we choose, and we are what we think. Not what we eat, what we think. If we do not want the responsibility for how we have created ourselves, then we ignore this self-creation aspect and live exclusively in the form that we inherited. If we know that thought is capable of healing, of creating a happy life, and of making a difference in the lives of others, then we respond to life with our ability. We are then living responsibly. Once our focus includes the inner world of thoughts, we shift to a more responsible way of being in the world. Look within yourself to discover how you feel about being more responsible to the world. We may enjoy the dreaming part so much that we do not even want to consider that there is much more available if we awaken. Thus we choose to remain asleep, unaware of the grandness that is there for us in awakening. When we stay with the familiar, we take no risks. If we do not risk, we do not have to change. Avoid change, and we can explain that the reason for our lack of growth is a multitude of external circumstances. It is a comfortable seeming circle that keeps us safe, albeit stuck in place, and in a place that seldom serves us or those we love at a very high level. Resistance is a basic part of the fear of changing. When we approach metaphysical or spiritual issues, we encounter a long history of relying on seeing is believing, and that becomes a stumbling block to looking anywhere but where our senses seem to point. I suggest we turn the stumbling block into a stepping stone by revisiting our thoughts to, I'll see it when I believe it. Okay. Oh, itchy. Your way out of the cage, would you like to know? Remind yourself of how to improve at anything you wish to accomplish in the world of form. For instance, practicing the piano for 2 hours a day will improve your piano playing. Hitting a bucket of golf balls each day at a practice tee will improve your golf game. Imagining. It says imaging is the equivalent of practice in the world of formless. Before going to sleep at night, practice getting an image into your mind of precisely what you want for yourself. It is to be more physically fit. Is it to be more physically fit? Practice seeing yourself exactly the way you would like to appear. Let the image get fixed in your mind. Remind yourself to do this several times during the day too. The work here is to use your thoughts to focus on positive images, to grow from the perfect person that you have chosen to be up to now to even higher levels of present moment perfection. Do not think of yourself as imperfect. Get the image in your mind of precisely what you would love to be, and you will find that you will automatically start acting on that new image. In other words, begin to act as if you already are where you would like to be, and the actions will follow automatically. Work each day on your thoughts rather than concentrating on your behaviour. It is your thinking that creates the feelings you have and ultimately your actions as well. So give this dimension of your being all the attention it deserves. Catch yourself when you verbalise thoughts that are self-defeating. For example, if you blurt out loud, I'll never be able to get out of debt, or I simply cannot reach my mate no matter how hard I try. Stop and gently remind yourself that you are acting on your thoughts, rather than having your thoughts come from the conditions in your life. Now rearrange those thoughts and see yourself out of debt. Refuse to think indebted thoughts. You will soon begin acting upon the image of yourself as a debt-free person. You will find yourself tearing up your credit cards, or consolidating your debts, or working at an extra job and doing the things that flow from the imaging that you do in your mind. Similarly, with your spouse, rather than act from the image you have of being married to an impossible person, begin to act as someone who is going to resolve your relationship one way or another. Create an image of yourself in a relationship that is full of love and harmony, and you will act that way. If you do not receive the feedback that is consistent with the image, you may consider moving on along your own path alone, or with another who is more in harmony with you. But instead of being in turmoil because your spouse is unapproachable, you will begin to act on the image of you as a human being in harmony. If you work things out, that will be terrific. If you do not, you will move along in peace. In either case, you will be resolving your relationship rather than feeding yourself on the frenzy of a mental image of being in an intolerable situation. Make the situation perfect in your mind and you will act upon that perfection. The quality of relationships is inseparably linked with our images and thoughts. What we see is evidence of what we believe. Remind yourself that your circumstances do not make you, they reveal you. Some people tell me, let's have a drink. Okay. Some people tell me, let's have a drink. Okay. Remind yourself that your circumstances do not make you, they reveal you. Some people tell me that they think it is easy for me to give advice on how to be happy and successful because I am rich and famous. My reaction is that I feel that my circumstances reveal me. That is, I do not give advice because I am rich and famous. If I am rich and famous, it is because I have followed this advice. I have lived these principles all my life and believe that this is why I have achieved the measure of wealth or fame that is part of my life. Look at your life, whatever condition it may be in, your relationships, your financial picture, your level of happiness, your state of health. Now try to consider that these circumstances reveal something about you. Acknowledge your involvement in your circumstances and view them as a reflection of how you have been thinking and consequently acting upon those thoughts. You can use that power of visualization to have the picture stay the same, deteriorate, or grow into whatever you illuminate on your inner screen. You are what you think about all day long. And even if you are thinking about the people who barely exist in squalid conditions, remind yourself that these people, more than any people on our planet, need to hear and believe what I am writing about. If somehow they could change their inner pictures of despair and hopelessness to the image of something grander for themselves, and if they steadfastly refused to imagine anything else, they would somehow begin to make that image a reality in the physical realm. The evidence is overwhelming when you consider people who have escaped from seemingly hopeless conditions and who reports that their belief was the impetus for their accomplishment. Secondly, know that you are not that person. You are here right now, the result of all the previous pictures you have painted for yourself. And you can paint new ones, including one of yourself assisting those who need help, if that is what you want to do. Definitely throat chakra closing up here. Come on, let's get these words out. Remind yourself daily that thought is not restricted to the confines of time, cause and effect, beginnings and endings, and all of the other rules that govern form. There simply are no limits in the astral realm of thought. Hey, do you want to come up? I can see. You going to come up with me? Or are you going to lay on your own chair? You can come up for a bit. Do you want to? Okay. Let's have Jasper join us. So remind yourself daily that thought is not restricted to the confines of time, cause and effect, beginnings and endings, and all the other rules that govern form. There simply are no limits in the astral realm of thought. Armed with this awareness, you can begin to meet others in this realm. Relationships can exist in this area, and you can make them come about by reminding yourself that everyone in your life is a divine entity with an intelligence behind all form. Your loved ones share their bodies, just as you do, with God, or whatever you choose to call that perfect intelligence permeating all form. Relate to them in this manner, reach them in this new place, stay in touch with their perfection within their form, and you will find the quality of all your relationships improving dramatically. Furthermore, you can relate to strangers in the same fashion. See everyone as a part of the wonderful, mysterious, invisible force that is in each and every one of us. Treat people like the divine creatures they are. Study the 7 principles of becoming a waking dreamer by applying 1 to each day of the week. Here is a sample of how you can make this your own reality in the week to come. Well, it's Sunday today and it starts with Sunday. Should we have a listen? Let's have a look. Well, we're going to, aren't we? Let's have a listen. Are we nearly there after the days of the week? Yes. Okay, listen up then, guys. Weekly guidance here. So study the 7 principles of becoming a waking dreamer by applying 1 to each day of the week. Here is a sample of how you can make this your own reality in the week to come. Let's do it. Sunday, time does not exist. Spend some time today outside in nature, looking straight up. Try to imagine that up goes forever, since even our rational mind tells us that the universe cannot simply end. If it goes forever, then it is already complete. Mysterious as this sounds, it is all complete. In a completed universe, time simply is mankind's way of helping organise the days and keep track of things. Eternity is forever, no time, only always. Now, what can you do with this? You can eliminate preoccupation with time, aging, type A behaviour, scheduling your life and hurrying. Okay, so now what can you do with this? You can eliminate preoccupation with time, aging, type A behaviour, scheduling your life and hurrying. It is all so perfect, this universe we are in. Slow down and enjoy it all. Your lifetime of 90 or so years is exactly the same as your dream of 8 or so hours. I did not invent this notion of no time. Einstein gave it to us in a mathematical sense, and philosophers from the beginning of recorded history have reminded us of it. The Bible is replete with references to eternity. Your lifetime in form is to be honoured and celebrated, not calculated and compartmentalised. Go beyond your enslavement to time and live fully in this, the only time you have, in the now, the working unit of your life. Okay, Monday. There is no cause and effect. Today, take time to comprehend what it means just to be. You are not a human doing, but rather a human being. While form follows all of the rules of cause and effect, formlessness is acasual, just like the time you spend dreaming. Now here, now there, your thoughts independent of each other. You can get past cause and effect by tuning in to your invisible humanity. You need not continue to do the work you trained yourself to do, simply because as a teenager, 30 years ago, you made some decisions about what you were going to apprentice or major in. You need not remain governed by the belief that past decisions cause you to be whatever you are today. You can be a creator without old rules governing your life. You can be anything you choose, regardless of what anyone says or does, and regardless of anything you have done or not done before. If you can imagine it, you can be it. And your imagination, your thinking, is not restricted to the rules of cause and effect. Today, Monday, work at not being the effect of anything, but the creator of that which you imagine yourself to be. You do not need a consultant in this matter. You simply need to put your form in harmony with your thoughts and then just allow yourself to be it. Tuesday. There is no beginning and no end. Practice living this day as if forever were all tied up in this day. This is forever, right here and now. Without time as a factor in this metaphysical experiment, today and a million years are the same. You are eternal, and the invisible essence of you can never die. Knowing this, all of the petty, worrisome areas will melt into insignificance. Attachment to things you can never own will also diminish significantly. Look into the mirror on this Tuesday morning and say out loud, I am not my form. I am something much more divine than mere form. The fact that you can come and go in your dreaming body, independent of any time constraints, gives you evidence that the dimension of thought is not something to fear, but something to savour. Today, Tuesday, live each moment as if it were the eternity that it is, savouring everything there is to appreciate in every moment. So savouring everything there is to appreciate in every moment. Make it a habit, beginning today, one moment at a time, one eternity at a time, and be patient and loving with any fearful thoughts. Reassure your fears that you understand their need to warn you of what they think is danger, and invite them to experiment with you just today to try this new way of thinking safely and lovingly. This is amazing guidance for the week, guys. Hope you've got a pen and paper and you're taking notes. Wednesday. Every obstacle is an opportunity. Today, welcome any disorderly or unpleasant behaviour towards you from other people as an opportunity to remind yourself that they are only talking to your form. Know that they cannot have your divineness unless you choose to share it with them. And then perhaps, for the very first time, you will be able to see the divineness in them, inside the form that is being unpleasant to you. Use the obstacle, the annoyance, as an opportunity to connect with your inner self. Today, see how many times you can take what would have been an uncomfortable reaction within you and transform it into a blessing for yourself and the other divine beings as well. Use the incidents as opportunities to practice and experience non-judgmental observation of what is happening in the world of form. Set judgment toward yourself and others aside, and instead observe what you are feeling and let those feelings free you. Eventually, in this way, you will discover the blessing or opportunity in what previously you allowed to be an obstacle to harmony in your life. Today, Wednesday, you are becoming the waking dreamer, turning obstacles into opportunities while in your waking body, just as you do when you are in your dreaming body. Okay, let's move on to Thursday. You create everything that you need for the dream. As waking dreamers, we know deep within that when we die, our consciousness will live on in a new dimension, and that everything experienced on our present level of wakefulness will appear as an illusion. Thus, just as in the dreaming body, everything that we need for the waking dream is created by us. Even the people whom we experience as difficult, they are in our life because we put them there. They have important lessons to teach us. Today, concentrate on asking yourself, why did I create this in my life? Take responsibility for everything that is in your life, believing that you created it all. Dedicate this Thursday to experimenting with this self-realisation. Respond today as if everything that comes your way was put there by you, just as everything that you experienced in your dream last night was created by you. Everything that happens to us in some way, everything that happens to us is in some way a mirroring. of our inner beliefs. When you really and truly know that you create every aspect of your daily life, then you will learn to discontinue disharmony or to discover its message. When you no longer need to learn how to deal with disharmony in your life, you will stop creating it. You will create love and harmony virtually everywhere you turn. Today is your day to keep this uppermost in your consciousness all day long. 6. Friday. The reactions are real. The characters are all illusions. Today is the day to soar into a transformational sense. Okay, so today is the day to soar in a transformational sense. Look at how you play out the reactions of all of the characters and events that you create for your life. Remind yourself that all of the feelings that you experience within you, the anger, joy, fear, stress, happiness, are all very, very real for you. Just as in your dream, when you find yourself panting and breathing hard because someone has been chasing you. The panting and breathlessness are real, but the characters are your creation. Your reactions are the very stuff of which the quality of your life is made up. Today, study how you are reacting to all of the externals that you have created for your life. Concentrate on how you are processing your thoughts. Reactions to life are determined by our thinking. Begin today to study the self-defeating reactions instead of the event or person. Imagine waking up from your dream and being upset all day long because one of the characters in your dream did not behave the way you thought he or she should. You have enough to say simply, that was a dream, and then get on with living, or examine this reflection of yourself. Today, you can use that very same strategy and refuse to be immobilised by the actions of anyone else. Saturday. The only way you know you are dreaming is to awaken. Today you can practice awakening, that is, dying while you are alive, and look back at what you judged you needed to do for your life. Begin to realise that everything that you have experienced is a thought. The cookie that you want to eat, but that will not help you, is nothing more than a thought. The anger at your spouse or children because they refuse to act in a certain way is only a thought. You are awakening, and by doing so, you are able to see exactly how all of your self-deprecating, I'm doing shit with the words today. Depreciating, no it's not, but deprecating actions, how all your self-deprecating actions are really responses to what you are creating for yourself. From this perspective, you are separated from your body and you are watching how you behave in a variety of situations, like me stumbling on these words. I'm observing my response, how I react to it. Like an actor on the stage, you see your body go through the hoops and roles that you have created for it, and you know that you are not exclusively that physical form. You are invisible and impervious to the senses for a day, and you can almost laugh at yourself for acting so foolishly as to immobilise yourself through the avenue of thought. As an awakened being, you know that you can only give away what you have inside, and that whatever is inside is there because of thoughts. If you give away any hate or anger today, it is not because of anything outside of you, but rather what you have inside to give away. Loving, harmonious thoughts produce love and harmony to give away, regardless of what is coming to you. Disharmonious, hateful thoughts produce the hate and anger that you have to give away. Both reflect your beliefs about your world. In this life, in this dimension of wakefulness, you simply cannot give away what you do not have. Watch what you give away all day long and realise that the only way you will ever get a firm, harmonious grip on how to live out this illusion is to awaken to another dimension and view all of your actions from this new perspective. Okay, so ends a week of working each day at being a waking dreamer. It's like our working week. This is awesome. So ends a week of working each day at being a waking dreamer. Knowing that we only have moments to live, rather than weeks and months, we can begin to use this awareness to make our everyday lives a state of wakefulness as unlimited as that which we experience in our dreaming body. Keep 7 words uppermost in your mind and think on the wisdom that is behind them. From the Prince of Peace, as ye think, so shall ye be. That's it. And then we go to oneness. You are at once a beating heart and a single heartbeat in the body called humanity. I'm not sure when we're going to be cracking on with that chapter. Not tonight. But we definitely have some homework to do for next week. It's Sunday today, so either start your Sunday tomorrow if it's night time. It's like 8:30 here in the evening. For going outside and expanding your awareness past the sky. Could do it with the night sky tonight. Okay, no excuses. So wherever you are, start. That's amazing. You just need to go back and I'm going to try and read it out every day anyway to remind us. Okay? Chapter 3 is coming soon. Until then, take care. Much love. Bye for now.